Movie camera Voyager 2. Signal from the void in the silent reaches of deep space, where no air moves and no sound can travel. A lone machine glides through the infinite void, a human creation, small and fragile, yet brimming with purpose. This is Voyager 2, launched in 1977, an interstellar messenger born of Earth's curiosity. It was built not just to observe, but to venture, to leave behind the gravity of our planet, to slip past the outer giants of our solar system, and to sail unchained into the great unknown. Equipped with instruments now considered primitive, Voyager 2 nonetheless became one of humanity's greatest triumphs. It traveled over 18 billion kilometers, collecting data on planets, moons, radiation belts, and magnetic fields. It showed us Uranus and Neptune in detail no one had ever seen before. And even now, nearly 5 decades later, it continues to send back signals, faint, flickering whispers across the cold vastness of space. But something strange has happened. Something that no one, not even the most seasoned mission engineers, fully understands. For years, Voyager 2 followed a predictable path, its communications steady and routine, its systems aged but reliable. It kept pace with expectations until recently. Without warning, the spacecraft began emitting a series of bizarre transmissions, fluctuating pulses, erratic bursts of data, and shifting frequencies that didn't match any known programming or background noise. At first, NASA engineers suspected what seemed logical: a hardware glitch, perhaps caused by cosmic radiation or the slow decay of its power source. After all, Voyager 2 runs on a plutonium-based generator that loses energy year after year. But the data wasn't just garbled, it was structured. Signals came in patterns. There was rhythm. There was order. Some packets even seemed to repeat. Others showed modulation frequency changes that did not correlate with any instructions previously sent. It was almost as if Voyager 2 was not merely sending data, but responding. Responding to what, though? Dr. Elaine Rodriguez, an astrophysicist at Caltech, stood before a crowded press room and carefully chose her words. The signal doesn't match any known form of cosmic interference. It's rhythmic, layered. Almost like a coded reply. We are exploring every possibility, including interaction with an external source. Though she avoided using the word extraterrestrial, the implication hung in the air, heavy with both hope and unease. Could Voyager 2 be receiving a signal? Not from Earth. Not from itself. But from somewhere else entirely? While some scientists remain cautious, urging restraint and reminding the public that old machines do strange things, others are leaning into more extraordinary theories. Some believe Voyager 2 has entered a region of space with strange physical properties, a gravitational pocket, or perhaps a high-energy plasma field, capable of disrupting and altering electronic behavior. Others fear this isn't a region at all but a presence. As analysis continues, one thing has become clear. The signal is too deliberate, too complex, to dismiss as noise. And Voyager 2? It continues to drift silently at the edge of our influence, near the heliopause, the boundary where the solar wind ceases, and true interstellar space begins. This liminal zone may be more than a line in space, it may be a gateway, a threshold between realms we've never imagined. As Earth listens, puzzled and transfixed, we're left with more questions than answers. Has something contacted Voyager 2? Has it crossed into a region that changes its behavior? Or most chilling of all, has it become a part of something greater? And so the world waits, scientists, philosophers, storytellers, all turning their gaze upward. Waiting for Voyager 2 to speak again. Waiting for a message. Or a reply. Movie camera Voyager 2. Signal from the void. The world didn't have to wait long. After weeks of puzzling transmissions and coded pulses, Voyager 2 did something it had never done in its nearly 50-year mission. It went completely, eerily silent. No telemetry. No response to Earth's commands. No signal, just an unnatural hush across billions of kilometers of emptiness. At NASA's Deep Space Network, concern mounted. Engineers stared at blank screens. For hours, then days, they listened to static, an eerie reminder that space is, by its very nature, a void. And for a spacecraft that had long outlived expectations, perhaps this was simply the end. But then, without warning, it returned. And it didn't just resume contact. It exploded into activity. A massive, concentrated burst of data flooded in, larger and denser than anything Voyager 2 had ever transmitted in a single session. It was as if the spacecraft had seen or experienced something, and was desperately trying to report it. Engineers scrambled to stabilize the signal, recover the data packet, and begin decoding. What they found shocked them. Inside the compressed stream were unusual readings, strange magnetic pulses that shifted in unnatural rhythms, electrical surges within the spacecraft's own systems, and temperature readings that suggested energy fluctuations far beyond what should be possible at Voyager's current distance from any star or source of heat. Some of these pulses seemed to echo, as if being reflected, or worse, mimicked. But the most astonishing discovery of all was a sound file. Yes, a sound emitted by a spacecraft with no microphone. But Voyager 2 has plasma wave sensors instruments capable of detecting charged particles and converting those electromagnetic fluctuations into audio. And when that data was translated into frequencies within human hearing range, the result was haunting. What they heard wasn't just noise. It was tonal. It had depth. It moved. A low, atmospheric drone filled with harmonic oscillations, punctuated by precise pulses. Not chaotic, but composed. Not alien in a sci-fi way, but profoundly alien in how intimate it felt. Some described it as hearing a storm from the inside. Others said it sounded like breathing or the echo of a cathedral in a vacuum. To many, it didn't sound like space. It sounded like a message. NASA did not release the full audio file. But as with all things in the digital age, snippets inevitably leaked and the internet was captivated. Podcasts, live streams, music producers, everyone tried to make sense of it. Some remixed it into haunting compositions, others analyzed its waveforms for hidden meaning. A few listeners claimed it brought on a visceral, almost emotional reaction, a sense of awe, fear, and longing. Could this be the background hum of the universe? Or had Voyager 2 picked up something far more specific? SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, issued a statement. We cannot verify the source or nature of the audio signal, but we acknowledge patterns within the transmission that bear characteristics of both natural and artificial origin. Even skeptics had to admit, the structure was too regular to be coincidence, too layered to be purely mechanical. New theories emerged, pushing the boundaries of mainstream science. What if Voyager 2 had not only intercepted a signal but had become part of a larger communication system? A kind of interstellar relay, accidentally tuned into by our humble, aging machine? One bold hypothesis suggested that Voyager had passed into a region of space not merely filled with exotic matter but governed by entirely different physical rules. A realm where information behaves like radiation, and matter is imprinted with memory. Others asked a deeper, more unsettling question. What if we weren't the first to send probes across the stars? What if Voyager 2's signal wasn't the beginning of contact but the answer to someone else's long-forgotten transmission? On Earth, the reaction has been equal parts wonder and apprehension. Philosophers ponder the implications. Are we hearing the voice of something sentient? Or is this the cosmic equivalent of a ripple on the surface of a deeper ocean? Governments, scientists, and space agencies are taking it seriously. Around-the-clock monitoring is underway. Supercomputers parse every byte of the transmission. AI is being trained on sound spectrograms, searching for linguistic markers, structure, even musical scales. Cryptographers from military and academic circles are collaborating in a global effort to understand what this is, if it is, in fact, saying something. Voyager 2, once seen as a silent ambassador, now seems like a medium, a vessel transformed by an encounter we don't yet comprehend. Has it been touched by something? Or is this a warning? Or an invitation? We still don't know. But one thing is certain, Voyager 2 has changed. And now that it has spoken, so must we listen. It is no longer just a machine drifting through the void. It is now a question, cast into the black. wrapped in metal, and encoded in frequencies our minds are only just beginning to grasp. Somewhere out there, in the silence beyond stars, something may be waiting. Or watching. Or replying. The cosmos is vast. It is cold. It is dark. But sometimes, just sometimes, it answers. And when it does, we must be ready not just to hear, but to understand.